The War Thunder Anniversary Sale is coming very soon, November 1st. During this annual event, all premium and pack vehicles are going to be 50% off. This raises the question, what should you buy? Now, I have quite a few premiums, so I can say I'm a bit of an expert on them, so here are my recommendations. Now, there's going to be two criteria for these vehicles. First of all, I'm not going to be including any top tier premiums, because this is working under the assumptions that you are a new player. Now, low tier and top tier are two very different games. It requires a lot of vehicle knowledge, map knowledge, and experience to play top tier. It's not fun for either you or your team if you're a new player and you come into top tier with a top tier premium. Secondly, I'm going to primarily be showing off vehicles that I personally have. That way, I'm only giving recommendations on vehicles that I have full knowledge of and therefore can give a fair and informed recommendation on those vehicles. One exception is if I have a tech tree variant of a essentially identical vehicle, then I would be able to use that experience to give the recommendations for the premium variant. Starting off with number 12 on the list is the Sherman IC. This is a British medium tank at battle rating 4.7, available when on sale for 1,500 Golden Eagles or about $10. Now, this is a very well-rounded vehicle with great mobility, great frontal armor, and a superb firepower for its battle rating. This vehicle is best played in a supporting role, so stick with your teammates in the second line of the battle. This allows you to maximize the use of your firepower while protecting your relatively thin sides and rear. In particular, if you compare with the Churchill Mark VII, you can use your firepower to compensate for their lack of firepower, while they will provide a shield in front of you in order to protect you from return fire. Overall, the Firefly is just an excellent tank, very well rounded. However, the reason it's not higher up on this list is because it's relatively expensive and also essentially identical to the tech tree variant, so it's not particularly unique or interesting. Now, again, as I mentioned before, I don't have this vehicle, but playing the tech tree variant, I have enough experience in it that I believe I'm well informed enough to reasonably recommend it. At number 11 on the list, we have the T-44-122. This is a Soviet medium tank at battle rating 6.3, available when on sale for 3,000 Golden Eagles for about $25. This vehicle has fantastic mobility, Hellcat-like mobility, a great gun, and fantastic armor. So long as you have the patience to wait through its 30-second reload. You'll have great success in the vehicle. To play this, you're going to want to use it as a flanker that has used its mobility to get to good firing positions and onto the side and rear of the enemy. From there, you can pick them off relatively easily, using cover to protect yourself during your long reload. Overall, this is a very good tank, however, it has a pretty major drawback in its long reload, and it's relatively expensive. At number 10, we have the first aircraft of this list, the British Mustang Mk IA. Now, this is a British fighter at battle rating 3.3, available when on sale for about 1,000 Golden Eagles or $7. This vehicle is essentially just a P-51B Mustang with four 20mm Hispano Mark IIs. It features great speed, climb rate, and firepower. However, it has pretty mediocre turn rate compared to its competitors such as the BF-109Es or the Spitfires. Now, once again, I actually do not have this vehicle. However, I do have the American tech tree equivalent. To play this vehicle, you're going to want to use as a boom and zoom fighter. That is, use your great climb rate to get above the enemy, then dive down on them, make a single pass with your good firepower, and then extend away. Do not engage in turn fights. Overall, this is a very good vehicle for beginners, very easy to play, easy to learn. However, because it is only a rank 3 vehicle, it can only research efficiently up to rank 3, which is why it's so low on this list. At number 9, we have another Lend-Lease aircraft, the Soviet Hurricane Mark IIB. This is at battle rating 3.0, and when on sale will only cost 350 Golden Eagles. That's about $3. This aircraft has great turn rate, great firepower with its twin 20mm Shavak cannons, a pretty good climb rate, and a decent top speed. Similar to the Mustang, this should be played primarily as a boom and zoom vehicle. However, with its increased maneuverability, it can be used as a turn fighter. However, that does require a lot more skill and experience, so it should not be what you attempt at first. Overall, this is a very good vehicle for beginners, very powerful for its battle rating, and easy to learn. However, similar to the Mustang, it does have pretty poor research, doing due to the fact it's only a rank 2 vehicle. One major advantage, though, is that being only 350 Eagles, it's essentially dirt cheap. At number 8 on this list, we have the KW1C, aka Super KV. This is a German heavy tank at battle rating 5.0. When on sale, it would cost about 1,500 golden Eagles, or about $10. Overall, this is an excellent vehicle for its battle rating, featuring fantastic armor, great firepower, and pretty decent mobility. Now, this should be played as a breakthrough tank, using your impressive armor to eat shells for your teammates as you lead the charge towards the capstones. However, do be careful of overexposing, as the sides of your vehicle are vulnerable, and without the support of teammates, you will find yourself quickly overwhelmed and overrun. You're going to want to angle the vehicle to increase its armor's effectiveness. Here's a good example of angling. As you see, you fire over one of your tracks, and this significantly increases your survivability. This is a fantastic, fun to play, and easy to learn tank overall. Its major drawbacks is there's essentially no vehicles at battle rank 5.0, which both means there's no lineup really to run this with, and also you're primarily going to be up tiered to 5.3 and 5.7, where your armor will be significantly less efficient. Up next, at number 7 on the list, we have the American Focke-Wulf 190A8. This is an American fighter at battle rating 5.0, available for 2,000 golden Eagles, about $15. Now, this is a superb fighter with a great climb rate, fantastic firepower, fantastic roll rate, and a pretty decent turn time. This should be played as a boom and zoom fighter, or as an interceptor using your great climb rate to climb up to bombers and then take them down. When you are turning, you're going to want to use takeoff flaps, as this can cut your turn time down almost in half. Overall, this is an incredible aircraft with fantastic boosters, and it's very easy to learn, however, it is difficult to master. At number 6 on the list, we have the Centurion Action X. This is a British MBT at battle rating 7.3, available for 3,000 golden Eagles, about $20. It features fantastic turret armor, pretty decent hull armor, a stabilizer, and a decent firepower and mobility. This is a pretty decent multi-role vehicle, being able to be used both in a support role and as a breakthrough tank. However, its stabilizer does take some skill to learn how to use properly, and none of its other performance metrics are particularly exceptional. So overall, a good but not great tank, requires a bit of skill and patience to learn, as well as it's one of the more expensive tanks on this list. At number 5, we have the T-14. This is an American heavy tank at battle rating 4.7, available for only 900 golden Eagles, or about $7. This vehicle features superb armor for the battle rating, being almost on the level of the famed Jumbo. It also has pretty decent mobility, however, its cannon is a measly 75mm M3, which is rather insufficient at battle rating 4.7. You're going to want to use this vehicle as a breakthrough tank, using your incredibly heavy armor to tank shells for your allies, and pair yourself up with a harder hitting vehicle such as an M10 or an M4A176, or even an M6. Do know that while your armor is impressive, it's not invincible. A skilled player will be able to penetrate certain areas of your turret. In order to make the most of your 75mm gun, aim for cupolas, barrels, and tracks, and flank opponents as much as possible. When you run into an opponent, generally the best way to deal with them is to break their barrel, then break their tracks, and then get onto the side and shoot into their side. If that's not possible, you're probably just going to have to relocate and find someone else to kill. Overall, the T-14 is an incredibly beginner-friendly vehicle. Not my personal favorite, but still very highly recommended for a new player. At number 8, we have the Brummbar. This is a German tank destroyer at battle rating 4.3, available for 1,500 golden Eagles, or about $10. This thing is essentially a baby Sturm Tiger. It has a massive 15cm gun, which will be able to destroy anything at its battle rating, all the way up to 6.3 with a single shot. Despite the size of the gun, it actually has a pretty decent reload of only 22 seconds, which means it's absolutely a nuke cannon and incredibly fun to play. On top of that, it has very impressive frontal armor and decent mobility, being based on the hull of the Panzer IV. You're going to want to use this either as a support vehicle or as a breakthrough vehicle, utilizing the fear factor of its massive cannon to cause disarray within the enemy lines. However, do be very careful of overextending, as the vehicle has very thin sides and a long reload, which means it's very prone to being swarmed and overwhelmed. Overall, though, this is an incredibly fun meme tank, one of my personal favorites, and it can be incredibly beginner-friendly when played cautiously. Now, do note that the Brummbar does have the lowest velocity cannon in the game. Don't expect to snipe with it, or if you do manage to hit your target, the high explosive shell will annihilate essentially anything in the game. Coming into the top 3 with the M60A1 DC Ariete. This is an Italian MBT, a battle rating 7.7, the highest battle rating on this list. It's available for 4,000 golden Eagles, or about $25. This vehicle features fantastic firepower, incredible armor, and fantastic mobility. The American tech tree M60 is one of my favorite vehicles in the game, and this Italian M60 at the same battle rating gets rid of the largest weakness of the M60, which was its thin turret. The Italian M60, of course, having the M60A1 turret, which is better armored. This is a pretty superb medium tank, able to play essentially any role. It can be a breakthrough tank using its fantastic armor and superb firepower, however, do be very careful of overextending. It can be a support vehicle, backing up heavier tanks such as the Conqueror or M103, using their armor as a shield and then compensating for their long reload with your faster one. Or it can even be used as a flanker slash sniper, using its high mobility to reach good sniping positions, and then using its fantastic APDS ammunition to pick off enemies from afar. However, I would not recommend this last role, as there are other vehicles that are better equipped for that role. Overall, this is a fantastic tank, very easy and very fun to play. However, it is pretty expensive, and it is Italian, which means that the research goes to the rather scarce Italian tree and not to a major nation. At number 2 on this list, in the last aircraft, we have the Ta-154A-1 Moskito. This is a fantastic German fighter at battle rating 4.3, available for only 700 golden eagles, or $5. This vehicle features fantastic firepower, armed with two 20mm MG151 cannons and two 30mm Mk 108 cannons, as well as incredible top speed, climb rate, and pretty decent maneuverability for a twin-engine fighter. This is best used as an interceptor, climbing up to bombers and then absolutely annihilating them with your Mk 108s. However, it can also be used as a very effective boom and zoom fighter, or once you are more experienced, an energy fighter. One additional tip for playing this vehicle: binds your 30mm and 20mm cannons to two separate buttons, as the 30mm cannons have very significant bullet drops, so it's very hard to aim both cannons at once unless you're at point blank range. This will allow you to conserve ammunition and not waste either your 30 or your 20mm cannons while you're aiming with the other caliber. Overall, this is an incredibly fun, incredibly effective, and incredibly easy to learn vehicle with a very wide variety of playstyle options. It's also incredibly cheap. Finally, at number 1 on this list is the T-29. This is an American heavy tank at battle rating 7.0 that is part of a premium pack that will be $20 during the sale. This pack will also include 1,000 golden eagles, enough to purchase, for example, the T-14, and 7 days of premium time. The vehicle itself features fantastic firepower, fantastic armor, great mobility, a very fun battle rating, and 3 50 cals. The armor, especially on the turret, will be able to protect you from essentially any cannon at your own battle rating. However, do be careful, as APDS and Heat FS will be able to slice through your hull. This vehicle should be played as either a breakthrough tank or as a support tank. Watch out for your slightly longer than average reload of 12.6 seconds, and hold a hold down position whenever possible, as the vehicle has significantly stronger turret armor than hull armor. However, overall, this is an immensely fun vehicle that just absolutely slaps. It's one of my favorite vehicles of all time, and the purchase that I am most glad I have made. Now, the video isn't quite over just yet. At the beginning of the video, I stated I was only going to be reviewing vehicles that I currently have or have an equivalent of. This is to prevent me from recommending a vehicle that looks good on paper, but in practice is rather ineffective. So this brings us to the section of honorable mentions, vehicles I would still recommend but have not played, so take these recommendations with a grain of salt. The first honorable mention is the Hori prototype. This is a Japanese tank destroyer at battle rating 6.7, available for just over 3,000 gold eagles, or about $20. This vehicle features great firepower, good mobility, and good armor. The upper front plate is sloped at 70 degrees, which makes it nigh invincible. However, the superstructure is only 150mm, which is quite thin for the battle rating. In a down tier, it'll be a practically invulnerable foe, much like the Ferdinand. However, in an up tier, essentially anything can get straight through the superstructure. This vehicle is best used as a sniper, making use of its excellent firepower and great gun depression, or in a down tier can be used as a breakthrough tank. Second honorable mention is the Somua SM. This is a French heavy tank at battle rating 7.3. Once again, a $20 pack that will also include 100 golden eagles and 7 days of premium time. The vehicle features fantastic armor, relatively similar to the Tiger II, but with significantly better mobility, and a 75mm cannon with a fantastic 4-second autoloading mechanism. The Somua is best played as either a support vehicle, utilizing your fast reload rate to support your teammates, or as a breakthrough tank, pushing through the front lines with your heavy armor and powerful firepower. Once again, be careful of overextending. However, the 4-second autoloader means Somua can actually perform pretty well unsupported. Finally, the last honorable mention is the infamous IS-6. This This is a battle rating 7.0 Soviet heavy tank, another $20 pack that will also include, again, 1,000 Golden Eagles and 7 days of premium time. The IS-6 has nearly invincible armor for its battle rating, fantastic mobility, and great firepower. It does have a relatively long reload of 20 seconds, however this is better than many other 122mm armed vehicles. Another important thing to note about this vehicle is it only has 3 degrees of gun depression, which can mean hold down positions are tricky to work with. The vehicle should be played in a breakthrough role, using its extreme bias armor and its good mobility to punch through enemy lines. Or, in fact, the vehicle is so mobile that can be played effectively as a flanker, despite being a heavy tank. Alright, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, if there's any vehicles you think I missed, or your experience has been playing any of these vehicles. See you next time.